Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account, and if you're like me, it seems like we've kind of hit a stall point or kind of a brick wall. Now we know the Joyous Celebration is up right now, which is going to yield us some additional Draconis Scrolls. So we do get 10 more out of there, which is equivalent to those 5,000 diamonds. We also do get 10 more insignias. Now for a majority of players, even looking at where we're at with the Draconis heroes, you can see we have a couple of these built. Now we did buy a lot of scrolls, which means for a majority of players, there is absolutely nowhere right now short of spending diamonds that we can actually make any progression at all. Even looking for where we are in the Dragon Forge right now, we have tried number 9 and essentially at this point talked to a lot of other players, a lot of other individuals, and getting through 9 actually requires you to have a majority of the heroes built, including having Gwen. So we went through, and again, kind of based on the build, we do have to build Gwen up a little bit further to make progression within 9. Again, we kind of talked about it and went through all the scenarios. We ran this for hours and hours and hours trying to get this done. Overall, without having Gwendolyn essentially built or Gwyneth built out a little bit further, we are not going to be able to make progression until we actually get that. And then, of course, we also do have Polina, where if we can get a couple more copies of Polina, should make it a little bit easier. But honestly, when you start looking at the diversity in the groups, we tried a combination of, I think, 5 different formations at this point. And essentially, we just need 2 more copies to get her up to Mythic. At Mythic, we can unlock the signature item. And from there, 9 is pretty easy. Now, for a majority of players as well, they have said when they get to the Dragon Forge level 10 that it is literally impossible short of being a whale. Majority of the comps that we've seen that have finished 10 have those heroes up to Ascended, have Hilduin up to Ascended, have Gwen up to Ascended, which again is very, very, very big when it comes to whale build out. Now, also looking here, you can see we have a couple more to get some more, essentially, resources to do some more summons. We're going to have to wait another 46 hours at level 8, which is where we're, again, stuck like a brick wall to really make some progression. Now, you've also noticed that I went through the campaign. That is right, 62 to 60. Since I didn't have really anything else to do in AFK Arena, we wanted to go through, we wanted to farm out this campaign, and I'm hoping that we can get through these formations. And I want to run through kind of the dynamic when you start getting into what, a 3, 4, almost 500 level deficiency. There's really fundamentally the only way you get through this content. And I went through here and I set up these. So looking at this formation right here, we have Kinisa and Rook for essentially the damage or essentially crowd control with the mitigation. We have Aethys in here for, again, that crowd control, kind of that mitigation piece. And then, of course, we have Lucilla because she comes back to life. We have the Shroom Spooter essentially as a taunt. So looking at the beast, and this is the way that it is used, honestly, perfectly, is this is a taunt with the Shroom Spooter. You can see it actually pick up rate and numbers start appearing right at the very top. This is what keeps essentially a lot of these targets off of each other. Kinisa and Rook can put everyone together. Aethys can crowd control them. And as long as we can get the taunt out from the beast, essentially we can make this happen. If you see, there is a very high RNG factor with this. Now that is kind of the reward, or kind of the risk and reward in here, is when you start getting into the very high level deficiencies, it takes a lot to get these through, to get these done. It takes an incredible amount of RNG, really, is what we're kind of looking at this point, is the methodology behind this, or the RNG factor that it does possess, requires you to almost chain Mahira at this point, because you'll notice very fast that if the crowd control drops, if it fails, if it drops, if anything happens, it's game over. That is it, guys. That is really it at this point, where, again, if we can't kill Nadia, or Nadia being up, there's nothing we can do. Essentially, without having the ability for them to attack each other, they're not going to kill each other, because at this point, the scaling of the heroes is so high, the damage of the heroes. So essentially, even there with Aethys, if Aethys gets hit one single time, same with Kinisa and Rook, same with Lucilla, it's pretty much game over. They're dead. If there's not a resistance, if there's not an immunity, it's pretty much game over. And of course, if you can't kill Nadia. So we've gotten to the point of this where Nadia is probably, and I'm thinking almost buff-wise with Naruko. You'll see Naruko actually goes down pretty easy here, but Nadia is so strong buff-wise that we can't even kill Nadia really at all, which again is the very, very big RNG factor here, is we have to have enough strength on the enemy side to essentially kill Nadia. And you'll see right there, guys, not really moving at all. There we go. So we got Nadia down. That is one of the big pivotal parts. If we can kill Nadia, if the enemy can kill Nadia, we get through the stage. Looking at stage 2, this of course is Chimera, and then we also do have a few other ones in here. So Oden is actually being run in here. Now Chimera of course doesn't let them die. We get a lot of crowd control out of here. We have the Fox Fatale, which increases the duration. Then of course we have Mulan, which again provides some of that crowd control aspect. Chimera, it is just a very, very slow, and you can see how everyone's kind of together here. A very, very slow burn. Oden puts everyone together. Damon keeps them together. And essentially Mulan with the crowd control keeps them together. And we slowly burn them down. And then, of course, the Fox Fatale does the charming effect on there, which again can kind of turn them down or really burn them down a little bit. Khazard is in there for the 50%. The duration extension for the crowd control is the only thing that we have Khazard in there. And you'll see these numbers will just start coming through. You can see Chimera's little spirit souls coming through. And again, I am pretty impressed with how slow of a burn this one is. Dealing with Satrena. Now you'll notice in here that right in the middle, Satrena is in here. We're starting to see a little bit of teleportation, but she goes immune, and that is the absolute biggest pain in the butt that I see within the formation. But luckily, we get the victory. Now, of course, looking at this one, it is a very, very weird combination in these two, meaning that we're getting the Beguile ability essentially off of the original version of Nomura. If you guys have ever used it, if you have the 9 of 9 essentially built, so what's happening is you've seen it right there with the Beguile ability. It's kind of broken because you're having Iran come over, kill Matria, and then get the Beguile ability picked up right here. Boom. If it resists like it did right there. And funny enough, how we got the Banish out, the Banish served as it didn't kill Nomura because of the Banish ability, but the Beguile ability comes out because they're close. So we Beguile Iran or Orin right off the bat right there, which again, taking down, and you can see the charm factor in here. Boom, gonna take out the tank, or essentially the charm factor in there. Hopefully we can get him down. There we go. Through, oh, I thought we killed him at the same time. But through the immunity that is provided from the owl, this again is kind of a pretty broken formation to put everyone together. And again, when you think of just kind of the stupid RNG factor of some of these formations, because we do have the owl built up, Frampton back here just taking out the target. Hopefully, boom, we can get the pile driver. And I think with the charm effect, we're going to get this down. And again, such a cheese, such an absolute cheese from the original version of Nomura. Now, of course, in here, we're going to teleport Thorin for the cheese right in the back. And of course, if we can get the retaliation up, boom, there we go, retaliation number 1. And just like that, high level deficiency, Thorin gets it done in literally one shot right there, which is awesome to see. And then, of course, this is kind of, again, the cheap formation. So within this formation, and the way that this one works, you have Ulna and you have Demia. Demia ults, providing an immunity, meaning that none of our targets are going to die. So we actually can't take the targets down unless they die before Demia's ult. Ulna is protecting Demia. Demia is protecting the rest of the team, which again is kind of a broken combination. Then, of course, we have Ivan out here for the buffs, which again is a pretty broken combination to finish out chapter 62. But looking at the damage in here, again, 864 billion. And of course, the Shroom Spooter, just the crowd control, slow burn in that one. In here, 1.92 trillion. And look at Damon. The original version of Damon, 1.39 trillion damage, or the only version of Damon. Very, very cool to see. Again, very reliant on the crowd control because of the level deficiencies we have. Even looking here, 648 billion, and look at that. Not really doing much damage really at all, but again, really reliant on the Beguile ability and having the team kind of kill itself out. Thorin, 3.24 trillion damage, which is just insane. And then, of course, 3.40 trillion or 3.4 trillion damage out there with the Awakened version of Belinda. Again, pretty broken overall to finish out 6260, taking us into the next chapter. And again, getting into 63, the Fallen Gods. Let's see what this looks like in here. Very cool looking, and you can see it's almost like a giant guy up here. A giant, almost robot armor looking piece. Even down here, we have a helmet with a big sword through it. Let's go ahead and collect up this loot. Now, of course, we do get the epic emblem choice chest. This is why we've been pushing it. Also do get 500 diamonds out of there. We get some tier stones, tier 3 and tier 4. And we also get 20 of our Stargazer scrolls just waiting to see essentially who's going to be released in a little bit, and that takes us into 63. Now, of course, looking at our diamonds, we're just been saving the diamonds because we don't know what the new Mauler looks like. That's kind of what we've been waiting for. And essentially out of here, we do have 8 Desire Hero summons. Now, that is based on VIP level. Now, normally you just get 6. With the higher VIP level, that is exactly why I do have 8. The rest of this, since we already have Kelton at 1 star, we're saving. We have 700, that is right. And of course, probability remains the same, but we have 700 time emblems in here. Dragon Isle, I would love to do some summons. However, again, we're saving to see the impact that we're going to see with the new Maulers. Ultimately, if the new Mauler hero isn't very impactful or doesn't make a big difference, we can hop in there, we can do some summons. But if she is a game changer, and it is Scorpion Lady, don't know the official name, but that is what it is saying right now, Scorpion Lady. So guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.